Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. So we have Rahul with us, and Rahul has cracked IFSCA Grade A examination this year. And today we are going to talk about his journey. And I would urge you that you are able to take valuable insights from his journey that you can use as an input as a part of your preparation. So hi Rahul, welcome to EduTap, and big congratulations to you for your success.
Hello, sir. Thank you.
Yes, and before we move forward and before we talk about his strategy regarding different components of IFSCA Grade A, first of all, Rahul, can you please tell us about yourself, that where you come from and what is your educational background, all such sort of things?
Sir, I come from Patiala, Punjab. I have done my schooling in Patiala only, and then I did my graduation in computer science. Afterwards, I started preparing for UPSC. I gave, I think, 4 attempts there, and then eventually moved to regulatory bodies in 2023. So my first exam was IFSC Grade A in 2023, and then I gave other exams like RBI, NABARD, PFRDA, and then eventually I cleared this year.
Okay, so I think it's been a long time that you have been preparing for this multiple examinations. Earlier you were preparing for UPSC, then you jumped to regulatory bodies. You directly started preparing for IFSCA Grade A, or earlier you were preparing for other regulatory body examinations also like RBI and all?
Sir, initially I started my journey from RBI Grade B, but then I came to know all these regulatory bodies and how they have the same ecosystem basically. So when I got to know about these examination, I gave to know that it has a synergy with other examinations. So I gave all the examinations that are conducted by IBPS, such as NABARD, uh, RBI, SEBI, PFRDA. The syllabus is different, no doubt, but at the end of the day, the way of asking questions is same, and basically it enhances your knowledge because a lot of questions overlap with each other also. Like NABARD questions are being asked in RB phase one, and PFRDA questions are asked in NABARD. So there's a lot of synergy and overlap. So it's better to prepare for every exam and then eventually you get settled in one of them.
Okay, great. So now let us talk about your detailed strategy. I will come to this topic again where we will discuss that what could be the strategy if somebody is targeting multiple examinations. We'll talk about it later on. But right now let us talk about the strategy for the phase one, phase two. So let us begin with phase one. That what was your strategy to target these components like QRE? Then we in IFSC we have paper two also. So what was your mindset?
So, sir, let's start with phase one. So, QRE, I'll start one by one. So, quant, for example, can be prepared from multiple sources. So, I watched videos of YouTube, different teachers, and got to know their teaching style. Everybody has their own teaching style. So, whatever fits your board, you can do it. Vishnu sir also conducts marathon sessions there. So, that was very helpful. Sometimes the educator forgets that this ultimately exam, so you have to be exam relevant also. And Vishnu sir make sure that the exam questions that are being actually asked in exam, so marathon conducts those questions only. So the student doesn't lose their confidence. And I practiced a lot. I did a lot of mock test and from various sources. So that was my strategy for quant. And for reasoning, sir, I was very weak in puzzles. So puzzles was something a big hurdle for me, and I tried to overcome it. And eventually, I did do small to medium puzzles. But I noticed that there's a lot of non-puzzle area as well, like critical reasoning, syllogism, and inequality, and all such that. So eventually, when you start preparing, you first of all you have to prepare. I think from my perspective, you have to prepare. You have to start with non-puzzle area and then eventually move to puzzle area. And sir, RBI is the only exam that has very tough questions. Other exams such as PFRDA, say B, this exam IFSCA, they ask very clerk and POP level questions. So it's very easy to solve them and clear the cutoff. And this is what strategy. And English for I was very good in English from my school days, so that was an advantage for me. But if someone is weak in English, they can do reading, daily newspaper reading, and then watch marathon and do a lot of mock tests to improve their English as well. And for Sir GA, I took the help of Affairs Cloud as well as Schemes tab and Reports tab to more comprehensively cover my syllabus.
Okay, great. And now let us move on to phase two. So please discuss about phase two also. That first of all, how did you target this English paper, which are descriptive, right? And what was the strategy? For example, a lot of students struggle when it comes to typing. So what was the strategy regarding that? Apart from that, other things also like miscellaneous components like Boolean market, gift city, all such sort of things. How did you manage them?
So for phase two, as well as paper two of phase one, they are both have eventually the same syllabus. Only a couple of subjects differ, like costing, for instance, and you don't have to score very good in phase one as well. So
Hmm.
phase paper two of phase one as well as phase two, you can cover at the same time. I took the help of EduTap courses. I read all the summary sheets and revised it multiple times and did a lot of MCQs. And economic survey and budget, I found that it's better to do them in original, because summaries don't help as much, because they've started asking from very depth, and it's better to cover the wording of economic survey rather than the facts and figures. This year also they have asked a couple of questions that were not found in
Hmm.
any summary. So economic survey and budget, I would say from original, and summary sheets for other subjects such as gift, IFSCA, Bullion, finance, management, costing. All these subjects can be prepared from summary sheets.
Hmm. Okay, so your primary source regarding these components or EduTap. So I would also like to ask you one question. A lot of students have this common doubt. Students often complain, or I would say they often give this feedback that EduTap, the content that we provide, the study material that we provide, is a bit bulky. So did you also find this challenge? And I would like to know your opinion regarding that. What do you think about it?
Yes, sir. When I first got into regulatory body ecosystem, I was also overwhelmed and frustrated with these bulky materials. But eventually, when you start reading and you get to know, get to familiarize with these content, you eventually find out that these content is necessary, because they started asking from very depth, like I said, and even a minute detail missed can be 2 marks short of your cutoff. So, sir, bulky materials can be overwhelming in the start, but you have to realize that it's a year-long exam. So, whichever exam you're targeting primarily, do that summary sheets first, and then whatever exam comes up in that recruitment cycle, you can prepare along the way. So, like for instance, a lot of people started preparing for RBI. So, for if you have prepared comprehensively for RBI, you are very knowledgeable in finance and management, and then you can do costing and these subject, commerce and accountancy, very uh, easily after that, because a lot of, like I said, there's a synergy and overlap. So once you start understanding the finance part of it, you eventually understand the commerce and accountancy and costing part of it as well.
Yes, so you mean it's like a one-time investment. If you have invested good amount of time, for example, in finance or maybe economics, then
Yes.
ultimately this knowledge and all this content is going to be useful afterwards also when you will be targeting other different regulatory bodies examination. The same knowledge is going to be used over those examinations also, so it's going to be a one-time investment. So you better read it in a detailed manner at once instead of, reading the scattered material again and again. So I think that would be able to save the time. I hope this is what you meant to say.
Yes, sir.
I hope you agree.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Definitely.
okay. So you also mentioned that before this IFSCA examination, before this regulatory bodies examination, you were preparing for UPSC also. So did that preparation help you directly or maybe indirectly?
Sir, UPSC teaches a lot of things. It opens up your mind, definitely. But to say that UPSC has an advantage over it is somewhat misleading. I would say, sir, UPSC makes you sit for long hours. That's the purpose of UPSC. If you have done anything else, like for instance, you have been very bright student in 10th, 12th, and all that, and you have long hours, sitting hours capacity, then it doesn't matter, sir. Ultimately, it's your hard work that will flourish, and UPSC may have a slight advantage in answer writing skills, like descriptive, for instance, but for many examinations such as IFSCA, PFR, DSAB, answer writing is not very much a big a deal. Like you have to do three things: Pressy, essay, and comprehension, and these are very easy to deal with. A lot of content can be paraphrased into it, and essay is something that if you do a lot of newspaper reading, editorial reading, it can be easily managed, and you don't have to write let's say 800 words, 600 words. You have to only write 200, 250 words, and it can easily be managed. And eventually, UPSC also has a disadvantage in that sense, because in UPSC you have to do pen paper writing, and in this you have to do typing. So if someone is good in typing, they have a bigger advantage than UPSC candidates.
Okay, so there is no such direct advantage, you mean? So basically, it helps you to maintain that discipline, that consistency as a
Yes,
part of it. But I would say, even if somebody has not prepared for UPSC, then also he can target this regulatory bodies examination in a comfortable manner, right?
definitely, sir, definitely.
Okay, great. So now let us talk about the third stage of the exam, which is basically the interview stage. So we are going to ask two questions from it. First of all, how did you prepare for the interview? And then what type of questions were asked in the interview? So firstly, tell us, how did you prepare for the interview?
So for interview, I basically talk to myself in mirror. I'm a very introvert type of person. So for
Mhm.
me, social conversation can be somewhat overwhelming. So I talk to myself mirror and saw my facial expression, how they move, how I should smile, etc. Mock interviews such as EduTap also helped. Uh, Satya Ranjan sir told me to improve my facial expressions, and if I don't know something, I have to be straightforward in that approach. So he gave me a lot of advice regarding the interview stage. And as for reading, sir, I prepared IFSCA Act and Gift City IFSC regulations extensively, because I knew that would be the subject they would ask from, and it
Mm.
was actually the case also. And finance economics is something that I prepared at I revised basically, so that if their question might be asked, then I can answer that. Uh,
Okay.
Answer in regular in the main interview, a lot of questions were asked regarding IFSCA, like I said, and then there was some question on money market, demand supply, how Hindenburg report affected the Indian stock market. There were questions on IBC. There were questions on this ratio, like cash reserve ratio and
Mhm.
solvency ratios. So they asked very in-depth questions. They were not gonna answer because, sir, the panel was very credible. The panel was headed by chairperson madam, I'm forgetting the name, Satyavati ma'am, and she was actually the first woman chief of DGCA and has been a former UPSC member. So, and there was person next to her was MS Sahu sir. So he was the first chairperson of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. So they're very knowledgeable, sir. So you can't say wrong answers and get away with it. So you have to be very prepared and comprehensively answer. And they were checking the in-depth knowledge, because they want to know if you actually prepared for it, or you got through guesswork. So that was the main intention of their demeanor, as well as, and they wanted to check other instances as well, like stress testing and how I behaved when they asked. They tried to put a lot of stress on me. They asked me very bluntly. They grinned at me. They smiled, even though I was telling the right answers. So they wanted to see if the candidate is not arrogant, or very let's say rude in their answers, and very in your face in your answers. So that was the intention of them, and I eventually succeeded in play. Basically, I eventually succeeded in clearing the interview.
Okay, okay. So, can I say that the questions that were the type of questions that were asked in the interview, they were very much facts-based question, instead of, if you talk about exams like UPSC and many other examinations where they are going to ask your opinion, that what do you think about this or that. But from the insights that I'm getting from you, I'm able to think that basically the questions that were asked, they were very factual. कि यार ये क्या होता है, ये क्या होता है, this and that. So was it so?
Yes, sir. So the questions were fact-based only, but fact was on checked, like I said, on depth level. So they wanted to get into it, and they didn't ask for your opinion on a particular subject. So that was the difference. UPSC asked you very analytical questions
Hmm.
in a hypothetical scenario. So there were a lot of factual-based questions, but there were some bouncers as well. Like they asked me a similarity between Blockbuster, Yahoo, and Nokia. So I was
Okay.
not able to answer it, and eventually, when I got to know answer, I googled on and ChatGPT. So I got to know that they are all irrelevant companies at in today's time. So that was the answer, but I couldn't answer. So there were a lot of bounce up. Ultimately, you don't have to answer every question as well, sir.
Hmm.
So they're just checking your knowledge and see how you behave, and whichever answer you don't know, how you react to it, how you humbly accept that you don't know, rather than just telling anything and everything.
Yes, that's a great insights that you have given, that they are also checking it whether you are an honest person or not.
Yes.
Because somebody might bluff, they can give a wrong answer, thinking that the person who is asking it, he does not know anything, they can assume. So they
Yes.
want to check that also. That's great. So
Yes.
anything else that you would like to add?
Yes, sir. I would like to end on a closing note that I want to thank everybody else that have played a role in my success. Uh, see, the success is not mine. Success is everybody else, like my family, my parents. Sir, there's a quote that say X walked, so Y could run, which
Hmm.
basically means that my parents sacrificed a lot so I could prepare extensively. बहुत लोगों को सर वही एक हिम्मत नहीं मिल पाती घर वालों से कि वो पढ़ें और करें। तो मेरे पापा ने हमेशा बोला कि तुम कर, मैं बैठा हूँ। तो वो चीज मेरे को बहुत सपोर्ट की। मेरी सिस्टर्स, मेरे जीजू, दे आर ऑल ओवर अचीवर्स, दे आर ऑल डॉक्टर्स। सो उनसे इंस्पिरेशन मिली, मेरे पीयर सपोर्ट, मेरे फेलो एस्पिरेंट्स, संस्कृति, प्रीति, तो उन्होंने बहुत सपोर्ट किया। जब भी आप डेली लाइफ पे स्ट्रगल करते हो ना, तो वो आपको हेल्प करते हैं। और मेरे फ्रेंड्स जिन्होंने कभी साथ नहीं छोड़ा, तो दैट इज द मेन, आई आई वुड से, सक्सेस दैट आई अचीव्ड।
यस, दैट्स ग्रेट टू नो। और आज वो आप पे प्राउड भी फील कर रहे होंगे, जिन्होंने आपको आपके टफ फेज में सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड की। दे कंट्रीब्यूटेड अ लॉट इमोशनली as a part of your success, and they must be feeling proud, and that's good to know. uh, would you like to also share that, do you have any hobbies, and were you able to follow your hobbies as a part of your preparation?
Yes, sir. I do have few hobbies. Sir, eventually hobbies do phase out when you
Yeah.
actively prepare, but there are few things that can actually be enabler for your preparation as well. So I had a hobby of reading books. So reading books is something that enhances your understanding of human behavior. I also read books regarding to productivity and efficiency, how you can improve, such as Atomic Habits, Deep Work. So
Hmm.
that improved my productivity as well. I like watching cricket, IPL. So even ma'am asked, interview panel member, chairperson, ma'am asked me that, what are your hobbies? She said, particularly asked me, set aside these regulatory bodies, set aside these UPSC exam. What do you like as a person? What do you like doing and all that? So I answered hobbies. So asked me particularly, which genre do you like reading? So I told her suspense thriller. So this is something that I think I enjoy and also played a good role in my preparation.
Okay, okay. Apart from that, I would also like to ask you one very important question that a lot of students have there in minds, that, for example, if somebody wants to prepare for this regulatory body examinations, students are often confused that from where they should start. I mean, if they are targeting RBI, or maybe if they just want to target IFSCA, or if they want to target multiple regulatory body examination, what should be the approach as per your experience? I would like to know your opinion.
Sir, I would say prepare, start with one exam which you have in mind. It may be NABARD, it may be RBI. See what interests you the most. For some student, it might be NABARD. For some student, it might be RBI. Don't go behind herd mentality. Like some people go for RBI because other people are preparing for it. You have to find your
Hmm.
own niche. And I would say eventually you have to prepare for all exams, because sir, seats is such that you might not get selected in the one you are pursuing for, but you might get selected in another. And it also enhances like your knowledge, like I said earlier. And once you start in this ecosystem, every exam connects to another. This year, IBPS PO mains asked RBI circulars, and RBI phase one asked PO IBPS PO type questions. So
Yes.
that is a very shocking revelation in that sense. So I would say start with one. Once you gain confidence in one examination, such as RBI, NABARD, then uh, shift to other exams as well. Because waiting for one exam the whole year and then not clearing is wasting 1 year.
Hmm.
I wasted a lot of years in that strategy. So I learned from mistake recently. So I shifted to, I gave all exams from 2024, and this has helped me a lot. And eventually I secured a good job in one of the most prestigious central government sector.
Yes, definitely. Yes, I also agree with this fact that instead of targeting just one exam, you should have a list of examinations that you want to appear for, and those examinations whose syllabus is highly overlapping, you can prepare for those overlapping components, and some miscellaneous components you can prepare later on. So I also agree with this thing. A lot of students have this common doubt, so I hope they're able to get a good solution.
Yes.
All right. So now I would say we are done with the questions. All those things that basically helped you as a part of your journey. Lastly, I would say, would you like to add any quote or any kind of message to the students who are still preparing for these examinations?
Sir, for UPSC aspirants, I would say there's a quote by Ludhianvi, Shahir Ludhianvi, which goes like, जिस अफसाने को मंजिल तक लेके जाना ना हो मुमकिन, उसे एक खूबसूरत मोड़ दे के छोड़ना अच्छा. So whoever
Mhm.
is preparing for UPSC and is unable to clear, I would say shift to regulatory body as a plan B is a very good plan B. And you have a lot of knowledge like I did, and you don't have a confidence. You may not have the confidence. So because sir, when you receive a lot of failure in UPSC, your confidence bottom, rock bottom, basically. So you have to believe in yourself that you are capable, and for that, regulatory body provides a very good platform. And then for non-UPSC aspirants, I would say not all UPSC aspirants do clear. There's a misconception that UPSC aspirants alone can clear. There's a lot of, in my batch, I would say, I think 12 people. I think only I am the one who is a UPSC aspirant. All other are non-UPSC aspirant. So again, you have to believe in yourself and be persistent. Sir, be resilient. Whatever comes your way, just never give up. You have to instill a never give up attitude, and eventually you will find success.
That's these are, I would say, very valuable lines, and I hope students are able to understand your perspective, and they will be able to use it, they will be able to utilize it as a part of the journey. Okay, so lastly, would you also like to give any kind of feedback to EduTap? Like, did it was it helpful as a part of your preparation? Any kind of support system that we provided?
Yes, sir. EduTap, sir, has played a huge role in my preparation. Like I said, once when I get first got into the ecosystem, I was overwhelmed. Yes, but eventually I did realize that you have to be on top of your game, and EduTap does provide you that ability if you read the content. And summary sheets might seem bulky, but when you compare it to other study materials such as your graduation, such as UPSC, you will find it's not even 10% of your syllabus. So that is something that you have to believe. You have to, and this is a year-long exam, sir. So like for instance, now is January, right? So the exams will probably fall in the second half of this year. So build a base. If someone is new preparing for regulatory body exam, EduTap summary sheets can help play a role in it. Quant reasoning is something people find weak. People may are weak in it. So EduTap again comes with these marathons, and just before the exam, like 1 week before the exam, marathons, EduTap marathons such as reports, schemes. Even if someone has not prepared a particular section, for instance, I didn't prepare reports before RBI. So just before that, I just couple of days before the RBI phase one, I just did reports, and I eventually could solve all the questions that were asked in phase one. So you have to watch a lot of content, EduTap content, as well as read summary sheets to know everything under the sun.
Okay, okay. So thank you so much for your valuable feedback, Rahul. And I wish you all the best for your
Thank
future endeavors.
thank you.
And I wish all the best to all the aspirants also who have watched this video, and I hope the video was helpful for you. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.